Thank you everyone for coming tonight. We're going to start off the artist talk with Eliza Moser.
Hi everybody, I'm Eliza Moser, and I made a piece over here, which is called Purity. So one second, there we go. So Purity is an exploration of the pressures that all of us, but particularly women, face around their own appearance and self-representation, sometimes caused by the standards of our religious or cultural upbringing. So to tackle this kind of subject matter, I really wanted to create a piece that was very dramatic. And what materialized was the image you see here, which is a woman. She's very buttoned up in a modest turtleneck, and her hair is drawn away from her face. And across her mouth, her bright red lipstick has been smeared. The choice of medium for this piece was very important. I intentionally chose charcoal and graphite instead of oil painting, which is more typically what I do, for their innate monochromatic qualities, so that the vividness of the lipstick, which was created with red chalk, would be apparent. I think that we all, especially women, can relate in some way to the feelings of pressure or anxiety about our appearance. And for some of us, this can be the result of unrealistic body standards set by an era of Photoshop and the beauty industry, or even just the value that society places on us based on our physical attractiveness. The title of the piece came from my own personal experience. In my own life, I faced this as a teen growing up in something called purity culture, which is a Christian trend that is focused on preserving girls' purity through modest dress and strict regulations around sex and dating. The resulting message of this kind of standard places the value of women on their purity, which is really just another impossible standard, just as impossible as mainstream culture's unrealistic or hypersexualized beauty standards. So what both of these beauty standards have in common is a lack of agency in how women present themselves. So the message of this piece is not really pro makeup or anti makeup. I'm not really kind of taking a side there. It's really more of a call to women to use their self-presentation as a form of expression of their authentic selves. And so for that reason, I left the interpretation of this piece actually open. In one interpretation, you could see the lipstick has been smeared from her face by some sort of oppressive force, right? Her voice is being silenced. In another interpretation, she may have actually wiped it away herself. So she may actually be rejecting society's beauty standards and staring back in defiance of those who would objectify her. So, yeah, that's my piece. You're welcome.
Yeah. Do you often, so this is, I can't raise my hand, this is Chris. Do you often have your subjects breaking the fourth wall?
I would say that's actually an interesting question. I've really thought about that.
I think it's the most striking thing about it. I think it's really interesting.
I think I was kind of inspired by some really very classic images of women. So if you think of the girl with the curled earring, for example, Even though there's nothing necessarily really explicit about it, the fact that they're looking out from the canvas kind of suggests that they're interacting with the viewer. So I think I tend to lean towards those kinds of works.
That's really great.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here. I don't know where I went, but I'm not in the exhibit anymore. Okay, good. So I'll just talk about it. Wow, what a beautiful presentation by Eliza. Thank you so much. What I wanted to say about She Watches Over Me and Goddess is that I was doing some very intuitive painting, some very sort of free artwork, which was very different from my usual. I usually do landscapes with watercolor and pastel, and both of these paintings were done really sort of getting in touch with something inside of me. And this is at a time in my life where I'm really trying new things and being braver and upfront and more courageous than usual. And so I felt like these pieces of art came through from that inner part of me that's sort of speaking up and being out loud. And especially She Watches Over Me. There's a couple of figures there who are moving their arms around, and it's kind of like I guess I'm getting in touch with the way people yearn for intimacy and at the same time push it away, and yearn for closeness and connection, and at the same time can be repelled by it and fearful of it. So that's kind of the stuff that was coming up for me in creating the first piece, She Watches Over Me, because even while I am resistant and rebellious and self-righteous, I also feel like I have my spirit guides and I have my goddess looking over me, and I have lots of compassion for myself as best I can, and I'm going to get through this tough time somehow. So that's my little explanation, my big explanation for She Watches Over Me. And does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
No, I can barely hear you.
Okay.
I have to come back in the gallery.
Okay. So I'm sorry if you might have. It's just Crystal. Sorry.
So yes, I'd like to hear your questions.
So, like when you change your color suite, there's also like how do you does it come
I
to
can't
you?
hear you.
I'm sorry. I don't have the best audio here. All right, where are you? Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
That's a great idea. Sure, sure. So the second piece is a goddess, and she's the goddess of abundance. And the goddess of abundance always has her feet in the water, which I can definitely connect with because water means the world to me. I love being in water, whether it's a rainstorm or the ocean or a pond or even in my bathtub. So water means so much to me, and it was really. I did the tree. I do lots of. These paintings, the colors just came to me. I just felt really right to use the color combinations that I use. I do love color, and I do tend towards more blues. But it's interesting to look at these that they really do have quite a bit of orange in them too, which is usually kind of rare for me because I do landscapes, and although I might do like an autumn scene with orange, I don't use it that much. I use pink a lot, but and I've been called on that. But these are more, you know, She Watches Over Me has a lot of green and turquoise and a little bit of pink orange, and the goddess is very, the orange and turquoise are very dominant, and the purple too. So yeah, I think with these I was very intuitive. So thank you for listening. And I'll take another question if anyone else has a question, but other than that, we can definitely move on. Thank you. Thank you so much.